for UC San Diego. Bryce Dvorak, all Big West Conference setter. You have Sebastian Lara, who went for a season-high 16 kills, was amazing last night in the 5-set win over UC Santa Barbara. Josh Schellinger, one of the top hitters for the Tritons all season long. Also in the starting rotation, you have Nick Rigo in the middle, along with Peter Selcho. Sam Warren, who is in there in place of Anthony Sherfon, who is out, not feeling well, only played 2 sets last night, didn't quite have it going, and so Sam Warren stepping up in his role here in this tournament, as well as Keegan Cook, the libero, who has been just fantastic for UC San Diego throughout the year. On the other side for the Beach, Moni Nikolov, the all-world freshman setter for Long Beach State, along with Skylar Varga on the outside pin. Van Braun, one of the middles. Dieris McCraven, the other middle for Long Beach State. He is a Moanalua alum. Now you have freshman Alex Kondev at outside. Nato Dickinson is going to be playing the opposite position in place of Daniil Hrstinovich, who is out for the Beach here at the moment. And they have a fantastic freshman libero in Kellen Larson. We talked to him just a little while ago, C-Mac, and he told us, I'm not sure how we won that match last night. He said in many ways, we didn't feel like we should have won that match, and yet here they are by way of sweeps. It was a Friday night in San Diego, and then a Saturday night sweep at the Pyramid. And so the stage is set. Big question and thing to watch is just how much fuel is left in the tank here for UCSD. They went 5, as mentioned, against UC Santa Barbara last night. It was 15-13 in the 5th.
The rest of the night for his teammates.
And so that is a pair of large shoes to fill for Sam Warren, who gets the start at the opposite position. But it is Dieris McCraven, the 6'5" senior, all Big West Conference selection for the first time in his career this year. Very well deserved. He gets us started with the serve. Long Beach playing it back. And the set goes to Nato Dickinson, and he gets the kill. Nato Dickinson, the guy playing in place of Daniil Hrstinovich, who was their primary opposite, averaging over 3 kills per set. But Dickinson took over last week in the series against UC San Diego, and he was fantastic. 16 kills, hit .423 and 3 blocks in one of those matches.
He's got game, no question. They've got a deep bench, that's for sure.
Oh, Long Beach State trying to get fancy with it, and Nato Dickinson gets one of the more unorthodox kills that he'll have in his career.
Should we call that a bump kill?
It certainly wasn't a kill.
It was not. He'll take it, though. Look at the big smiles all around.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 to get started. And McCraven trying to keep the pressure on from the service line. Back row, the block is up there on Sebastian Lara, and little pitter-patter above the tape winds up a point for UCSD.
Jim Garrison winning the battle of the net. They're very alert play by Garrison.
So Peter Selcho.
Or was it Selcho? Maybe Selcho.
Who got the kill there, and he is now back behind the line to serve. What a match he had last night. Season high 11 kills, hit .647, was error-free. But he delivers the service error on that occasion, and Long Beach State is up 3-1 early on.
He's also in on 8 blocks last night. So he just had a terrific night at the net. Struggled from behind the service line, though. Led the team with 4 service errors.
So here's Moni Nikolov, believed to have hit the fastest recorded serve in men's volleyball history. It was in excess of 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Earlier this season. He is also the nation's leader with 86 service aces, but serves it out. Interestingly enough, when Long Beach State played 2 matches here against Hawaii, both those matches he went without a service ace. The only matches this season where that has happened. Nikolov with options goes outside, and that is Nato Dickinson hitting from the left pin. And right now, it is Nato Dickinson who has 3 kills, and nobody else for Long Beach State has provided any of the offense.
How about that set from Nikolov? He just intercepts so many overpasses. That 6'8", jumps, long arms.
Oh boy, that was a rip. Nick Rigo getting the call in the middle. 9th set, averaging about 1.1 kills per set, but hitting .479 on the year.
Did not play at all last night. So he got some fresh legs in there.
That one put down by Alex Kondev. So the first kill recorded by a player not named Nato Dickinson. And how good has this guy been? 6'7" freshman from Sofia, Bulgaria. There's a lot of these guys around the Big West, and they have all showed out here this season. Kondev, all Big West and all freshman team.
He's got some kind of game. Big arm, big jump.
A save there by Skylar Varga, and Kondev lights it aflame. And you think about 2028, the landscape, and it is unreal. Quick outside to Sebastian Lara, dug up by Moni Nikolov, who just goes up and approaches as if he's getting a swing. Instead, it goes out to Kondev, who hits it wide. In Long Beach State, they're just sort of messing around here early on.
You got to remember that Kondev and Nikolov played high school volleyball together, so they know a lot about each other's moves, that's for sure.
And so we're going to get a challenge here by Alan Knipe. He's going to challenge that there was a touch here on this hit. And do you see a touch there? It's a little bit hard from our active camera angles.
That was actually a pretty good look right there. I don't think there was a touch at all.
Gives us a chance to introduce the officiating crew. Sid Church is the R1, Sergio Gonzalez the R2 across the way. Randy Rubinall will be conducting the replay reviews. And there is the full list. 4 line judges. You know it's postseason volleyball when you have 4 line judges.
Yeah, and Rubinall comes up with a pretty quick discussion there for an answer.
With challenges, historically speaking, they have a great challenge and replay system up there at the pyramid, and he has adjusted well here to what Hawaii has as far as the replay challenge system. Here's Sebastian Lara, one-hand punch-up save there by Nikolov, and now Nato Dickinson. Did he get a touch on that one? They're going to say no, and I think Alan Knipe is going to challenge that no-touch call. And so here we go again. Little deja vu. So again, the call on the floor, out ball, no touch. Alan Knipe immediately sprung into action to reach for the challenge paddle.
Well, it looks like there might have been a touch there. I think that Mr. Rigo might have got his pinky on it. Number 12 there in the middle.
Long Beach State ranked #1 in the AVCA poll for the 13th straight week. You have UC San Diego on the other side. They're 10th in the latest AVCA poll.
To this arena.
So about a 24-man roster here for Long Beach State. And they all gather on the playing surface during challenges. All right, we have breaking news here from the MPSF men's volleyball tournament.
Team that's going to get the going to get that automatic bid, and then it's very likely that UCLA will get the other bid out of the MPSF, and then there'll be one bid left for the MPSF, or for the Big West.
For the Big West. So, yeah, in many ways,
wow.
That second semifinal, you could say not just a trip to the Big West Championship, but a trip to the NCAA possibly on the line there. As that one goes off the block and out. That last challenge, as you saw, was a failed challenge by Alan Knipe. So he won the one previous and then loses that one. 2 challenges left for the beach. Another kill there for Alex Kondev. He's up to 4 kills on 4 swings. Meanwhile, Dickinson misses the court. Long Beach State, you'd imagine, they're feeling pretty comfy. I think they've put together a resume where regardless of what happens tonight, tomorrow, they're going to be in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're a shoe-in. They played so well all year long, including that 20-match win streak they had in the middle of the year.
Swing there by Dickinson, and the dig by Kellen Larson. Dickinson will two-hand it over, so the advantage here for the Tritons. Set goes left side. It is Lara blocked back. High ball bump set goes to Lara. 3 blockers up. He tries to avoid it. Now the beach on the attack. Kondev with the left hand. It's pinballed around. Bump set Lara blocked. The up by Dvorak. Now Lara another try at it. Saved by Dickinson. Nikolov going outside. Kondev ends it. A lengthy rally, and Long Beach State wins it.
Both sides doing a pretty good job of hitter coverage. A lot of blocking going on, but there was players there to cover them. There's Kondev just catching the back line. He's come on strong this back half of the year.
Look at that kill percentage, 466. That is second in the Big West Conference. Back row, Schellinger off the block, played up by Varga. Here's Dickinson, deep corner, and just out. Oh, Dickinson thought he got it in. Some of the players on the beach side looking at Alan Knipe and encouraging him to issue a challenge, but I think Alan Knipe says let's just try to keep the rhythm. 6 serving 9. Here's Laura. Good pass there. Kondev, and over on 2 goes Moni Nikolov. This is a guy who averages just under a kill per set. He thinks very offensively. And you look at him in pregame warm-ups, he'll take a few swings in hitting lines, and I think you would be immediately convinced he could be an All-American opposite tomorrow if he decided to play that position.
Absolutely. You got to remember that he's the setter for the Bulgarian national team, so he plays at the highest level year-round.
Another Bulgarian, Georgi Bainev, in for the serve, and there's Sam Warren. Warren going with a season-high 9 kills last night, was thrust into action after Anthony Sherfon was pulled from the match after set 2. Was not feeling well, and Sam Warren came through. He was great in serve receive, came through with some clutch kills. He was key from the service line. Absolutely instrumental in UCSD advancing out of the first round. That pass tight to the net. Outside it goes, and that one is hit long. So that was Ben Braun taking a swing from the left pin. And UCSD, just like that, within 2.
Not sure why Braun was there. I know they brought Skylar Varga for an inside 2. That's why Braun was hitting on the left there.
Long Beach State, they're pulling all kind of interesting maneuvers here so far in this first set as Selcho sends it out.
Yeah, Skylar Varga with only 1 set so far. He was the hero last time he played against Hawaii. He lit it up.
He was good on night 2 against UCSD as well. Skylar Varga had 12 kills at 550. Here is Nikolov. Middle set, and there is Rigo. And as important as it is to get the point, it is almost even more important that UC San Diego got out of that rotation with Moni Nikolov behind the service line.
Absolutely. Anytime they can get him to have only 1 serve, that's a win.
Dvorak spinning it over the net. Outside, and there is Dickinson. Well, you figure Long Beach State is out there.
Well, yeah, Shapanis they lost as well.
That's right.
They lost 2 really, really good players. And they just keep reloading.
Yeah, you're talking about Sotiris Shapanis, as that one is ripped off the hands by Warren, and that gets a roar from the Triton's bench. But Sotiris Shapanis, who has not played in a while now, and it is looking perhaps unlikely that we are going to see him again this season. And there is a look at Shapanis, who averages over 2 kills per set. He was hitting 401. I mean, he was an All-American for Long Beach State, and so it just is a testament, as that one is ripped into by Skylar Varga. Just a testament.
Yeah, that's what they have.
I think you can use that term. Backside, it's Warren. And so Sam Warren with 3 kills on 3 swings. And UCSD hanging around here, close to the midway mark of set 1.
Great set from Dvorak that time to juke the middle blocker just a little bit, so they got a split block.
Rigo on the serve, it's a good one. Great pass by Kondev. Backside Dickinson, like clockwork, went out and became much more of a larger role player here with this offense. We have seen him improving in the serve, receive, and passing game. This Long Beach State team is busting right now. And that's an ace. Dickinson just pinging it on the sideline.
He's having a match in 1 set.
And the Beach gets the 15 first in the first.
The NCAA dropped
Dickinson .399. That's the hitting percentage for Long Beach State. Tops in the NCAA. Next closest UCLA at .367. I mean, they're hitting 400 for the year, C-Mac. That is absurd.
It really is. It's an offense that I'm sure.
This is the Long Beach State team that lost some talent from a year ago in the form of Clark Godbold, Simon Torwey. He had Aiden Knight, the previous setter, and one of the great liberos in college volleyball in Mason Briggs. And they have been able to still be able to put out there a lineup that every single night appears to be superior than what's across the net.
They just reload once again at every position.
Selcho getting the kill there, and then Sam Warren deals an ace out of the deck. So the Tritons making some noise out of the timeout, and Sam Warren has become one of the storylines here this week.
He just puts major heat on it, serves right in the seam. Two players diving for it and couldn't quite pop it up.
Just his second ace this year. Another good serve and a dime pass there by Kondev, leading to the rip by De'Aris McCraven. Alan Knight just beams when talking about De'Aris McCraven, a guy who has just steadily climbed the ladder and gotten better and better due to his work ethic.
Maybe the most improved player on this team. He's really worked hard to earn that starting spot and become a senior leader.
In his third year with Long Beach State, was at Orange Coast College prior to that. And Long Beach State gets the point there. Skylar Varga doing the honors. De'Aris McCraven up on that block attempt as well. 17 serving 13. Dvorak going to go middle. Selcho goes off the block. It hits the big screen above and then trickles down to the Terraflex. It hit the bottom of the Jumbotron and then shot down with even more velocity.
Yeah, it came down pretty fast, didn't it?
14 serving 17. Sebastian Lara with the serve. Kondev again puts it on the money, and then Moni goes over on two. He is listed at 6'8". That appears to be a gross underestimation. He looks like he's more like a 6'10" setter out there.
Yeah. And with long arms, makes him play like 7 feet.
Dvorak trying to return the favor, but he hits it wide, and this is the largest lead for Long Beach State. And so Brad Rostrader is going to signal for a timeout. Beach up by a handful in the first. At Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, the 7th time that this event has been held in general. Middle set, that's Selcho, and on two knees, two-hand save there by McCraven. But it drifted a little too far over the tape, and it was Josh Schellinger who was able to deposit it.
Long Beach State's defense a little off guard there. I don't think they thought the ball was drifting over. They thought that Nikolov was going to set that.
Here's Brett Pursley, was used as a serving sub last night, and he delivered 2 aces in that match against the Gauchos. Back bump set, and that goes to Dickinson. Saved there by Lara. He gets the set in the back row and finds the end line. It was called in and ball. And Moni Nikolov grabbing at that left shoulder. Didn't really see exactly what happened there, but he looks like he is grimacing in discomfort for sure. The attempted block, and looks like he may have possibly collided with Ben Braun there. Braun, maybe that left elbow coming down on the top of Nikolov's shoulder.
Yeah.
So something to keep an eye on there. Very quick review. It is confirmed. And so that is a Sebastian Lara kill.
Only one challenge remaining for Alan Knight. Very unusual. He's usually pretty right on with his challenges, but not tonight so far.
So first kill recorded by Lara on 9 swings. Outside, here is Varga. Right down the seam. And Long Beach State gets to 20.
Yeah. They look very relaxed right now.
Yeah.
And very, very smooth. Kind of a smooth machine that's sort of just getting started.
Nikolov pinballed around. It'll be returned. Body's hitting the deck on the beach side. Back bump set. It's Varga through the block. Punched up in the air there by Warren. And then Schellinger from the left pin. That was a hard cut. And he gets the kill. Here's Bryce Dvorak, the patented two-handed spin toss there to try to put extra sauce on the serve. Handled by Kondev. He gets the set from the back row. And that was ferocious.
Put your helmets on when Kondev has no blockers up.
The pass, the assist, and the smash. 21 serving 17 here in set one. Outside, it's Warren. The door was shut. Nato Dickinson getting his hands on it, jumping up next to Ben Braun. Dickinson has been phenomenal. And it is a timeout being called by Brad Rostrader. Nato putting his fingertips and fingerprints all over this first set. Here at Simplify Arena at 6:30 p.m. Hawaii time. That's 9:30 p.m. on the West Coast. The Beach are hoping to punch a ticket, and right now sitting pretty here in the first set. Long Beach State 7-4 all time in the Big West Championship. Against the grain, the set goes to Schellinger. Forget about it. Access denied. Braun jumping up next to Kondev.
They put up over 2 blocks per set, maybe close to 3 blocks per set. Now they're just so disciplined. They rarely make a net violation or a center line violation. They always have 4 hands across. They rarely leave a gap. It's just it's a thing of beauty to watch, and they credit for himself.
Yeah, second in the nation coming into the week in blocks. USC, the top blocking team in the country. But a Long Beach State team that also leads the nation in hitting percentage. We showed you that number. Leads the nation in aces per set. You can't make any mistakes. And right now, Long Beach State is well read. First for the Beach.
Block number 4 on the night. So they're above their average.
And that one just drifts beyond the end line there. Skylar Varga trying to float one in. The 6'7" redshirt junior from Minster, Saskatchewan. All Big West Conference selection for the second year. Was honorable mention a season ago. Here's Schellinger. Still set point. And now that's a wrap. Service error gives Long Beach State the 25-18 win in the first. And it didn't look like they broke any kind of sweat in the process. All Beach so far in this first semi. Suji, he has a special guest. Ryan. Reasons as to why this is the 5th time that the Hawaiian Islands presents the 2025 Outrigger Big West Men's Volleyball Championship has been held in Honolulu. It would not be possible without that level of support. So great to see that kind of credit being given. And now we return to action here. Moni Nikolov, and he gets an ace. Nikolov, 86 aces on the year, tops in the nation coming in, and that ace right there ties him for the Big West Conference single season record of 87.
I'm going to go on a limb, Kanoa. I bet he breaks the record either tonight or tomorrow night.
He is now 13 away from 100, which is the NCAA all-eras single season mark. Decent. This is Laura. Scrapes the block, gets the kill. And a good approach that time here, Sebastian Lara. And you see Bryce Dvorak, the very to none.
Yeah, he is their emotional leader, and you know he knows how to dig deep, and he wants the rest of his guys on his team to dig deep.
Back row, Kondev. He's another one of those guys, when he catches it flush, it just echoes through the venue.
Yeah, how many times does the Long Beach State offense give their back row hitters an open net? It's like hitting lines, as you say.
Three serving one. This is Skylar Varga on the serve. Good pass there, Lara. They shoot it out to Schellinger, and he's able to tool the block. So Bryce Dvorak trying to speed up the tempo a little bit, and he connects there with Josh Schellinger, the 6'5" redshirt junior from Bloomingdale, Illinois. Averaging over 3 kills a set. Had a season-high 22 on 43 swings last night.
He had quite the night.
Nikolov going backside. Dickinson blocked and roofed. The set was a little tight to the pin. And so there wasn't much wiggle room. Up, who got a few pieces of it.
First block of the night.
To follow that up by Dvorak. He's there.
They get their second ace of the night. They got their first block of the night before that.
They also have their first lead of the night. Backside Dickinson off the block. And it bounces off of the official scorers table across the way. We're tied at 4. Nato Dickinson hitting .250. Alex Kondev leads all hitters. He has 7 kills, 8 swings, no errors. Pretty good start, you'd have to say. Here's Schellinger. The block had not formed, but a great up there by Varga. Tough angle there, Dickinson, and he bumps it over outside the pin.
Oh, I love that dig by Varga. He just took a shot, popped it up, so it was not quite settable, unfortunately.
Here's Schellinger, 19 aces on the season. And sends it out. As he said, the beach was impeccable from the service line. He said their season numbers are around 75% in. He said they were up over 85%, maybe around 87% to be exact in that series. And I think everybody would be in agreement. If Long Beach State is going to serve with that kind of accuracy, especially with the kind of service pressure that their particular servers can provide, they're going to be awfully tough to beat no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, no question. They out serve there. Yeah, I agree with Coach Rostratter that in order for UC San Diego to have a chance, Alan Knipe's team's got to serve like they did when they were in Hawaii, where they had 23 serves out. And I think there's 27 in another match they lost this year.
And that's going to be an out serve there by Rigo. Yeah, 22 service aces in their home loss to UC Irvine. That was back on March 28th. And yeah, the serve certainly was on the night that Hawaii took down Long Beach State in 5. It certainly was much less consistent than what we have seen here in the last few matches. Nikolov going D-set. That's Dickinson. And he hit it into the net. So Nato Dickinson, who had that hot start through set number 1, he has now recorded 5 hitting errors. And it is 7-all here in the second. Oh, what a pass there by Kellen Larson. Varga gets it down. Skylar Varga, who had to performance a year ago, was the team leader in aces last season, and once again rewarded with an all Big West Conference acknowledgement here this week. Here's Lara. He's able to go off the block. Nikolov, who tugs the bottom of the net, upset with himself that he wasn't able to seal that crease between his arm and the pin.
Great story on Lara. Last night, it's like 13-all in the 5th. He told me before tonight, he said, you know, Coach, he said, I hit a ball OTT, the best ball I've ever hit all night. Come down, I'm cramping badly. I get to the hull, I tell my players.
He did every bit of the energy that he provided. And taking down UCSB. That serve by Nikolov just misses. He thought he had another. He's still looking a little confused. Just serves with so much speed. Has the top spin on it. It is a load to handle.
Oh, plus he hits it so hard. Top spin and velocity.
Dickinson off the block. Diving cover there. Schellinger. Here's Lara rolling it over from the back row. That was the only spot on the floor where it could have dropped, and he found it.
What a smart, savvy shot by Lara. Long Beach State defense well formed. 3 blockers up, 3 defenders in the back row, and he, as you said, finds the only place in Terraflex that was open.
Selcho on the serve. Outside, Dickinson. Was there a touch? No touch. And all of a sudden, Nato Dickinson, who was lava hot through the first set, has now recorded his 6th hitting error. He is flatlining it at the moment. Triple zeros in hitting percentage, and UCSD is up 2.
Well, he started out all world, and I can barely make it all gym.
3 straight points for the Tritons. That was a nice serve there by Selcho. Outside, Dickinson off the block. The cover there by Varga. They go back to Dickinson, and the little push dink works.
Notice that Moni Nikolov is not giving up on him just as he made 6 errors. He's going to keep feeding him until he gets in the groove again. Now he's no longer flatlining it. He's just hitting it above 100.
That one put over on 2 by Dvorak. Here's Dickinson from the opposite position, but the wall was up and it was set. Schellinger jumping up next to Rigo.
Well-formed block. Set just a little bit inside. Dickinson tried to go line, but it just was not there.
Tritons had no blocks in set 1. They've got 2 here in the second. Kondev off the hands. That one chased down by Schellinger. Back row Lara. And he explodes on it. And this UCSD team, despite the exhaustive effort from a night ago, they are busting at the seams at the moment. Timeout.
All their opponents to around 200. To see this is shocking, to say the least.
UCSD on a 5-1 scoring. All 3 challenges issued. So just 1 challenge remaining here until we were to go to a 5th, if that is the scenario. And that hit goes out by Kondev. That is his first hitting error. And some of these errors that Long Beach State happens to be recording right now, C-Mac, seem to be of the self-inflicted variety.
Absolutely. And the serving has improved for UCSD. Bryce Dvorak came out of that timeout and just ripped one.
Nikolov going high and away. It's Kondev. This time works the block to his advantage. And a much-needed point there for Long Beach State. Well, you got to give credit to UCSD. I think we were perhaps a bit skeptical as to what they would have left from an emotional standpoint. Would they have enough to even put up some kind of challenge here? And they most certainly have done that, even after dropping the first set, when it looked like Long Beach State was in total control. Dane Hillis, the service sub, comes through with an ace. 6'3" redshirt junior from San Clemente, California, his 2nd ace of the year.
And we were worried about the emotional tank being empty. Well, how about the physical tank as well? But right now, they're playing some good volleyball, except for that lack of communication on the last one.
Schellinger with the pass outside. This is Warren. And UCSD.
UCSD server, Josh Schellinger.
15 serving 12. Nikolov gonna go pin to pin, and he finds Kondev. And that's a great example of Moni Nikolov and the strength he has in those. Able to disguise exactly where he's going as well. Keeps those hands well above his head. Lara, the push dink, rattled around. It will be sent over. Free opportunity here for the Tritons. Dvorak goes middle. Rigo plugs it through the block.
Rigo, just 6'5", a bit of an undersized middle, just finds ways to get the balls down. Look at hitting .441 in Big West matches this year. That's a big number. He doesn't make many mistakes.
Here's Brett Pursley again in to serve. Nikolov going back row, and that is hammered by Skylar Varga.
He is so smooth. I'm watching him warm up, and he is so smooth. And notice how he starts his approach before the setters even touch the ball. Remember, he's got some Canadian international experience, by the way, on the U19 teams.
Served by Kondev into the twine. And so Long Beach State leaking fuel a little bit here in this second frame. They are hitting $118 at the moment. They were flatlining it just a few points ago, and yet they're only down 3. And Sam Warren to serve here for the Tritons. And he was ready for that Nikolov dump shot, but it came right back to Moni, who was on a pogo stick.
He did not like being dug there. That was an angry put down. He goes, how did you guys pop that up? I put that down 90% of the time. And you guys dug it? Watch this. I'm going to two-hand you. There's a dig right there by Warren. And he just angrily puts that down.
Yeah, has a couple of words perhaps that drifted through the twine. These are two teams that will not hesitate to mix it up a bit in the dialogue department. Connor Bloom in to serve. D-set, this is Warren, the tip shot rejected. Skylar Varga was on a flying carpet and he just levitated.
Eddie the whole year.
You have Moni Nikolov, the most prolific ace scorer in the country, with his team down 1 behind the service line. That one handled by Warren. Behind the head, middle set, Selcho is blocked back. Dvorak goes outside Schellinger. And Nato Dickinson says, And we're tied at 18.
You see San Diego's in control with a free ball there. But how about Dickinson with that right hand pressed back into the court? Perfect block.
Solo for Nato. On the Rainbow Warrior baseball team at Les Murakami Stadium rankings. And they are now a top 5 squad coming to town next week. They are expecting massive crowds at the Les.
Not often do we get top 5 teams, right?
Correct. Nikolov out of the timeout, and that one fell off of a table. Nikolov, and so that represents a new Big West Conference single season ace record. 88.
I told you he'd break the record. I just didn't know it would happen this fast.
Outside Schellinger. They put a little extra sauce on that one. And we're tied at 19.
What a set from Dvorak that time, right on the money. This ball had "hit me" written all over it. Schellinger took advantage and came back across his body down the line. Clean.
And so here is Selcho. Into the net. By the way, the previous Big West Conference put up 87 aces earlier in his career. And that was back in 2023. Warren from the back row. Saved there by Nikolov. So Varga takes on the set, but it drips over the net. Nikolov picked it up, though. And Kondev deposits it. And Long Beach State now up by 2 here as we turn the final poll in this second frame. And Brad Rostratter going to signal for a timeout. For the majority of set 2, UC San Diego could not have hoped for more. And yet they are seeing their grip on the second frame loosening. Moni Nikolov, he has been a force of nature throughout this entire freshman campaign. And tonight, no different. 21 assists, 3 kills. He has 2 service aces. The new Big West Conference single season ace record holder. Throw in 3 digs. This guy can do everything on the volleyball court, C-Mac.
He's something very special. I'd be surprised if he wasn't named the Big West most valuable player.
Outside here, Schellinger out of the timeout. UCSD needed it, and he delivered as he has done.
I think would be helpful.
Well, he got an ace earlier in this set. Popped straight up by Larson. 3 blockers up against Kondev, and he tried to cut it inside, cross court, and missed wide. And so here we go again, knotted up at 21.
See, Nikolov got pulled off the net there. Broken play, tough ball to hit, high ball to hit.
Now Alan Knight signals for a timeout. You would imagine means that UCLA would be in position to get one of those at-large berths as Van Braun pummels that one straight down to the floor out of the timeout, which means then, with Long Beach State likely having already locked up at least an at-large, the winner of tonight's second semifinal, Hawaii versus UC Irvine, could be, for all intents and purposes, for that last spot in the NCAA tournament.
That just adds even more flavor to the evening event. Amazing. Did not think it would come to that, because I really didn't think UCLA would lose that match to Pepperdine.
By the way, both teams have exhausted all of their timeouts here in set 2. 22-all, Schellinger the serve. Pass by Vargas, a good one. Outside, it is Kondev, and he pulled the string that time.
Dvorak guessed wrong that time. He guessed that Kondev would tip it to the donut, so he breaks to the inside. And instead, Kondev tips it down the line, where Dvorak normally is. The chess game is on.
Binev in for the serve. Scramble play here for San Diego, and Laura hits it out. And the point goes to Long Beach State, and they are serving for set point. Tritons led by as many as 4. They were up 14-10, seemingly in position to claim this second set. Long Beach State has had different plans, though. Schellinger trying to keep the Tritons in it.
Schellinger just loves that big set out of the back row, doesn't he? One of the better big hitters in the league, I believe.
So here is Nick Rigo now to serve. 23 serving 24. Nikolov going outside. Kondev, and it's over. Long Beach State takes the second frame, and they'll have an opportunity to crack open the broom closet here in this first of 2 semifinals. They go from hitting triple zeros about midway through this second set to taking it by 2. Tritons will have to try to fight off the sweep in the third. In the third, as Peter Selcho is able to find the sweet spot there. It's his 5th kill, so he continues to just be a terror here in this Big West Championship. Now 5 kills, no errors for him. Again, went bananas with the season high 11 kills, no errors last night, but he serves it long.
His 4th service error on the night. Last night he struggled from the service line as well. I believe he had 5 service errors last night. No, he had 4 last night. So he's matched last night's error performance.
There's Nikolov on the serve. Chase down second touch, the bump set by Dvorak, and Schellinger is dug up by Kondev. Outside, here is Varga, and he tips it down.
How about that dig by Alex Kondev in the back row? That was a thing of beauty. Complete control. Gets a high 5 from...
This was the guy who was effectively playing behind Sotiris Chapanis for the first half of the season. Was getting some run here and there, but became a fixture in the lineup to action anytime soon, and that is really unfortunate because he is an incredible talent. But Kondev has risen to the occasion, as they say.
Sotiris is also fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, he'll get in on the chatter between the net fun as well.
He does.
As that one goes out off the palm of Nikolov.
As I was saying earlier, a couple weeks ago, I said, you know what? This Kondev guy is playing so well, I don't know if Chapanis can get his job back. So kudos to Kondev.
And Kondev with 12 kills hitting .625 right now. Here he is from behind the line. One-hand dig over the net by Dvorak. How did he do that? Kondev a second time. Another one-handed up there by Dvorak. Good second touch. Laura, does it get back over? It does. Nikolov goes middle, and it's Braun run, and did you see Nikolov was actually facing the near side of the net, went behind the head to his middle brawn, who deposited it.
Yeah, and this offense by Long Beach State, so good in transition. He's looking at his outside hitter, and he sort of gives him a, the blockers are looking at what Kondev's doing with his eyes. And when his eyes go to the outside here, they sort of lean that way, and then he comes back to the middle. Just so good, so deceptive.
Josh Schellinger leading the way with 6 kills. You have 3 players with 5 put down, and Nick Rigo with 4. 3 serving 3. Schellinger. That one tight to the net. It's Braun. And again, you talk about that size and length of Moni Nikolov. I mean, that is a pass that for some setters would be one that...
Exactly. And Braun at 6'11", he's a great target.
Yeah. Tip shot there, sniffed out by Kondev. They go right back to Kondev. He barely got back into his position, and then Nikolov having a little extra fun there as he allows that one to drop out of bounds.
He's played. You gotta remember, he's only 18 or 19. He's still having fun.
Yeah, he was 18 years old during the fall when Long Beach was getting into their first workouts. And Schellinger drives that one into the Terraflex.
You got to keep wondering, how long will Moni Nikolov last at Long Beach State? That's the question of the year.
Well, his brother was around for 1 year, was the National Player of the Year in that 1 year, Alex. And he decided to go the professional route after the fact. And these players now have tremendous opportunities. And what is different about men's volleyball as compared to maybe another sport like basketball or football is you are able to call your own shots, in essence, where you go, what team you play for. As McCraven is able to get it through the block. And that was another special nectar put up by Nikolov.
He's just, like you said before, Kanoe, he could play, I think, every position on the court. He could be a great middle, a terrific opposite. He's obviously a great setter. I think he could play libero as well. What do you think?
Give him the libero jersey at some point. It's Lara who wore the libero jersey for a good part of this season.
It's a very emotional victory over Santa Barbara.
Warren puts it into the string.
Alex Kondev serving.
Seven serving 5. Here's Kondev. Took a little something off there. Schellinger on the pass. Middle set. Selcho. That was a nifty delivery by Bryce Dvorak, the 6'4" grad student from Newport Beach, California. Played previously at Pepperdine before finding his way to UC San Diego. Backside, the broad jump there by Dickinson, but it winds up in the pin. He had to traverse a long distance there on that approach.
Did you see the hand flick by Moni Nikolov? Not many people can do that, have strong enough hands to do what he just did, where he makes it look like he's going to set front left, and just the flick of the hands, he's back right.
Goes out to the far pin, and Skylar Varga unloads. Varga's just been steady Eddie here this evening. He now has 6 kills, no errors. He's hitting above 600. Has a couple of blocks as well. In fact, that one puts him to 750 on the night.
Only 8 sets on it. They really haven't relied on him too much. They seem to only go to him when necessary.
And Nikolov with the stuff, and then with the stare down after the fact.
He's got a great blocker up the net, blocks like that, and then the stare down. I think he leads in stare downs tonight too. Put that in his stat sheet.
Yeah, maybe even the leader in the category of words per set that delivered through the net. Dvorak going middle, and that's Selcho. We were informed that Moni Nikolov has even been warned by the official, the R2, Sergio Gonzalez, as to maybe trying to temper some of that chatter.
It's time to shake hands with Sergio after he got the little lecture.
Backside, it's Dickinson. He got under it. Sends it out. And UCSD within one here. They're playing for survival. Season on the line type stuff here. Down 0-2. First of 2 semifinals here in this Big West Men's Volleyball Championship. That's an overpass. Dvorak goes D-set to Warren, and he is denied. Skylar Varga wasn't having it.
So if Long Beach State doesn't beat you with their offense hitting 400, they'll beat you with their block. Like with plays like that, Skylar Varga knew that Warren was going to go to the line, so he just leaned out to his left, took the line away, put that left hand force it back into the court. Thing of beauty.
Oh my goodness, that was a smoke show by Moni Nikolov. His 3rd ace of the match.
We've got 4 passers. Most people pass with 3, but you're doing this Nikolov, you got to pass with 4.
Back-to-back aces. He now has 4 of a kind here tonight.
I think there's going to be a challenge. Maybe Moni Nikolov stepped on the line or something. Let's take a look.
Yeah, they are going to challenge a foot fault. Challenge issued by Brad Rostratter. And even if this isn't a successful challenge, if you do anything to try to disrupt the rhythm here. And they're going to uphold the call. So, yeah, very quick review there. And perhaps just the strategy by Brad Rostratter, just throw a little wrinkle in. Try to see if you can get Moni Nikolov out of rhythm, because right now he is calibrated. 4 aces here this evening. Remember, he went the 2 matches against Hawaii in this building without an ace. The only 2 matches where he didn't record an ace all season. That one got slowed down by the tape. Dvorak going outside. Schellinger, good dig there on the touch by Kondev. Nikolov the 2nd touch, and it will be sent over as a free pass. Back row, the tip, Warren, diving save by Nikolov. Kondev bump set. Varga, 3 blockers up, and they send it back.
Just when you think UCSD is down and out, they find a way to scrap around and win the long points with blocks like that.
So here is Bryce Dvorak. Backside, Varga. Diving save. That was a pretty one there by Keegan Cook, just keeping his team's hopes alive. And they're able to work the point. Give that one to Keegan Cook, though.
One of the better liberos in the league. Great passer. Terrific digger with plays like that. Makes a dig a perfect set.
It ended up being Nick Rigo with the finisher. 11 serving 13. Dvorak can go on some runs from the service line. Had a 7-ace match earlier in the season. Tried to get a little too surgical that time. So 14-11 now, the lead here for Long Beach State. And Varga with the service error. That is the 8th service error here for Long Beach State, but they'll take this ratio. You have 8 service errors to 6. 12 serving 14. Good pass there, Kondev. And Braun on the back end. I'll tell you what, Alex Kondev has just been passing dimes here throughout this match.
And defender in the back row. Kondev has more than filled that role.
Dane Hillis, the serving sub for Long Beach. Here's Warren. And that was a nice looking rip Sam Warren, the 6'4" senior from Huntington Beach. Transfer from Orange Coast College. Played at Balboa Bay Volleyball Club. Says that he knows how to play the trumpet. Kinda, is what he had.
It's like being kind of pregnant.
Georgi Bainev, one of 4 Bulgarians on this Long Beach State roster. Middle set, Selcho plugged it through the block. Nikolov going to get a swing out of it, and he gets the kill. And that is what he can do when he attacks the ball. And we've had extensive conversations with Alan Knipe saying that you look at a guy like Moni Nikolov, and he has forced you to, as a coach, sort of change what has been your traditional philosophy of where you put the guy who walks through the gym doors, who is one of the biggest and most physical players that you have. Usually it'd be the oppo position. In this case, Irvine, for all intents and purposes, you would have to imagine, would have the inside track for an at-large berth. And the loss by UCLA all but eliminates the opportunity for the Big West to claim both at-large berths in the NCAA tournament. Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree. Totally agree. You know what would really make it scary is if Long Beach State lost tomorrow night.
Here's McCraven hanging and banging.
Any surprise that McCraven was a great basketball player at Moanalua as well as a great volleyball player?
Yeah, not surprising at all. Won 2 OIA championships at Moanalua as a
national team.
Here's Sebastiano Sani. Of course, is the pass tight to the net, but they're going to give it to UC Irvine. They're going to call interference on Skylar Varga. He's going to argue that it was a 50-50 ball, and so will his head coach, Alan Knipe. And he will now bring in a sub as Kondev comes back in for Sani. What do you think there, C-Mac?
Ooh, the ball had broken the plane, and therefore was free game for either team.
And the service error there by Persley. What does it say about Long Beach? And it should once again be reiterated that UCSD playing shorthanded, as are the Beach, you could also argue, but Anthony Sherfon, Leo Provednikov, a couple of guys who have been key for UCSD as pin hitters all year, they are not available tonight. And still, that one is hit well by Sebastian Lara. Still, you have to give credit to Long Beach State for the fact that they didn't necessarily appear to have their best stuff. It wasn't the most well-oiled overall Long Beach performance, and yet it doesn't feel like they have strained all that much here tonight. What does that say about them?
It says they have more gas in the tank, emotionally and physically. They're just an extraordinary team. They've shown their, mettle all year long, including that 20-game winning streak they had in the middle of the season.
There's Nikolov, 4 aces in the match, curls that one over. Diving pass by Rigo. There's a dig by Kondev. High and away, it is Varga. That'll be dug up over the net and out. So Varga with another kill. He has 7. And that's going to be another aspect. Long Beach State, if they're able to finish this thing off in 3 and do so by not exerting the amount of energy that some of the other teams have already had to in this event, and what you would expect will be a knockdown drag-out type of battle in the second semifinal. Long Beach State should be going into the championship match tomorrow very fresh.
With the freshest arms and the freshest legs, to be sure.
But they still have some work to do to finish things off here. We have a challenge here by UCSD. They're challenging that there was a net violation committed by Long Beach State somewhere in that sequence.
The other day, so it's been a long couple of days for these guys, and then they are playing that marathon match last night.
Yeah, it was their third match in Big West Championship play, their third win. And so the call will be upheld. So UCSD with no timeouts left. They have one challenge remaining. And it is now or never time here for the Tritons. Long Beach State up by 5. Moni Nikolov to serve. Dvorak going high and away. Schellinger left hand touches it over. Kondev on 2.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty, wasn't it? Improvised, but you know what? They played.
Kondev. Kondev now with 14 kills, 2 errors. He's hitting 600. 7 digs to go along with a pair of blocks. Playing at an All-American-like level as a true freshman. 22 serving 16. And that's going to be a foot foul.
Service foot foul. 7-point UCSD.
So the foot fault there called against Moni Nikolov.
So there's a chink in the armor.
Yeah. Long Beach State hitting .444 here in this third frame. UCSD hitting .333 on its side. Middle set, that one paintbrushed by Braun, and it's returned. Nikolov goes outside, and Dickinson sends it to the floor. Nato Dickinson, who came out red hot in the first set, then strung together a few hitting errors, able to catch this one flush.
Once again, Moni Nikolov intercepting a ball that might have been an overpass, but with his length and his size, he keeps it alive.
Warren dug up one-handed style over the net by Kondev. Warren tips it over, and we're going to have a violation. Looked like someone went under the net for the Tritons, and so that's a point for Long Beach State, and it is Aloha ball, match point for the Beach. The #1 team in the land for 13 straight weeks. Showing every bit why they have been the front runners here all year. Warren sends it out. Was there a touch? No touch. Brad Rostrader is going to challenge that last call just to prolong things. You can't take the challenges home with you. He is going to take one last gasp haymaker attempt here to try to see if they can prevent that from being the conclusion of this first semifinal. So he is challenging for a touch. Let's see if we can see anything.
Well, it's tough to tell there.
And the ball obviously way out beyond the end line.